Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this card with the new Stamparatus. Now I just wanted to give a little refresher course. I know a lot of my customers reserved their Stamparatus and are receiving them in the second round of reservations this week. So I thought I'd give you guys a little refresher course so you can get that Stamparatus out and start playing with it. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a ton of cards using your Stamparatus. So let's get started. Your Stamparatus comes in a nice little box and it has the instructions in it. So you get some instructions. It's even got some photo tutorials with some recommendations on how to use it. Oh look, and they use the same stamp set. I didn't realize that. Okay, anyways, great minds think alike, I guess, right? Okay, so your Stamparatus comes with 2 plates, and this is fabulous. This is unlike any other positioning tool on the market, and you're gonna see how wonderful this is that you have these 2 plates. It also comes with a foam pad, and then you have the grid in here. Now, when you're using your red rubber or clear mount stamps, let me grab a set. For example, this hanging garden stamp set, this is our red rubber clear mount, we call this, because we mount these on clear blocks to use them. When you're using your red rubber, you can simply use the grid that comes with your Stamparatus. Okay, the cushioning on here gives you the cushion that you need to make this work properly. If you're going to be using a photopolymer stamp set, which is the clear rubber, mine is stained, but it's supposed to be clear. If you're using the clear rubber stamp sets, you need this little pad that comes with your Stamparatus, and you're gonna simply set that right inside your grid right here. Okay, first thing I want to do, I'm going to bring in my cardstock layers and give those to you so you can recreate this card easily if you'd like to. I have a scrap of Blushing Bride, a piece of Whisper White that is 3.5 by 4 3/4, Berry Burst that is just 1/8 of an inch bigger, so 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. I've got a piece of Whisper White for my inside layer that's 4 by 5 1/4, and a crumb cake card base. And I'm just going to fold that, make sure I fold it straight, how about that? And give it a good burnish with my bone folder. Okay, I'm going to set some of these aside, and I'm going to bring in my white piece. Now, one of the things that we've noticed with the Stamparatus, I'm going to put in one of my plates here, is if you are familiar with using other types of positioning tools, we've always wanted to shove them up here in this corner. And while that's fine for stamping something down here, if you're stamping something up in the top here, the hinges for the Stamparatus restrict you a little bit because they don't let you push down really good up here in this corner. So an easy solution for that is, instead of putting your cardstock up in that top corner, is that you bring it down here. And I decided that I wanted a grid on my Stamparatus, which would make it easier for me. So I took a piece of our grid paper. This is orderable through my Stampin' Up store. You get this huge pack of paper, and this is what I usually have on my table when I'm stamping. I like to write notes on it, and I do all kinds of stuff with it. But I took a piece of that and I cut it so that I could put that right on top of this foam pad, which would make it easier for me to position things on my Stamparatus. So what I'm going to do, whoops, first I have to show you something. Don't forget about your magnets back here. You have 2 magnets. I choose only to use one at a time, and here's why. If you use both of these magnets, you're more than welcome to, but they are extremely strong magnets, and if they snap together, they will break. Stampin' Up has said if you snap your magnets together and they break, they're not replacing them. That's a given. It's right in the directions. So you are responsible to be very careful with these magnets, and that's why I only choose to use one at a time. And you only really need one. They're very, very strong. So now I'm going to bring my little piece in here. And remember, this is the 3.5 by 4 3/4 Whisper White layer. I'm going to line it up between my 5 and my 2.5 inch markings here. And I just like this grid paper in here because it's going to help me position if I were to make multiples of this card, which is what I did, and I will show you that in a minute. All right, the first thing I am going to stamp with my Sheltering Tree stamp set is the tree base. So I'm going to bring my tree base in. I'm going to put it face down on my layer, and I'm now going to close the plate and pick that up. So now I have that part ready to roll. I'm going to ink that up with some crumb cake ink. And now I'm going to stamp it on my layer by simply closing the lid and pushing down. And there's a perfect tree. Now, I want the leaves or the spots on my tree to be Blushing Bride. I'm making a spring card. I am tired of winter and I want spring to come. So I decided I wanted a spring card. I'm going to bring this stamp in here and I'm going to lay it right over top my tree image. Get it perfectly aligned. Now I'm going to bring in my other plate here and I'm going to pick that up. Then I'm going to ink the leaves up with the Blushing Bride ink pad, and I'm going to close them, and you're going to have perfect every single time. I love this. Okay, last but not least, my swing. And you could stamp this by hand, or you can, I lost my swing, where is it? Oh, you can stamp this by hand because it's photopolymer, we can see through it. Or if you wanted to, and you were going to make a whole bunch of these, you could put it in place here, take this plate, pop it out, turn it around, so your tree's on this side, there's nothing on this side, set it back in place, and we can pick up that swing so we can leave it right on the plate, ink that up, and you can stamp that perfectly every single time, just like that. So the reason why I decided to get my Stamparatus out, other than to give you a refresher course, of course, is I made a huge pile of these. These are going to be my swap cards for my team. We are in Milwaukee for an on-stage event, and I made a ton of these. And as you can see, they are all perfect, and I use my Stamparatus. And that was the first time I've used it for mass production, and I have to tell you, I'm super excited about you guys getting your hands on this tool. It is magnificent. You are going to love it. Now, if you did not reserve a Stamparatus when Stampin' Up! Had the reservations open, don't worry. We have a brand new catalog coming out June 1st, and you will be able to order this in that new annual catalog. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be happy to earn your business. I can send you a catalog when those come in. Just pop me an email at kelly@astampabove.com. And I'd be happy to get you a catalog so you can see all the fabulous new products we have coming out. So let's finish our card and then I'll show you how I put it together. I've got Pear Pizzazz here, and this little swoosh comes with the Sheltering Tree stamp set, and I am just going to stamp that freehand right here. And then while I have this out, I am also going to, let me move the Stamparatus here. I am also going to stamp this on my inside layer. You guys know that I love to decorate the insides of my cards. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat for a little cushion here. And then I took the little grass stamp and I used the Pear Pizzazz for that too. And I'm just going to stamp that right over here for the inside. And I'm going to stamp it here, here, and here for my card front. And then I brought in my Berry Burst because I wanted these flowers to be oh so pretty and spring-like. And I'm just going to stamp those. This is super, super easy just to stamp them any place near these little grass wisps, and they will look kind of like poppies almost. They're really pretty. There we go. So I've got these ready to roll. Here's my other layer, and one last thing. Since I always need lots of thank you cards, that's what I decided to make. So I'm inking up in the Berry Burst, the Thankful for You, and I am going to cut that out to go on my card. Let me get these ink pads closed up and I will show you how to assemble this. I'm going to put the smaller white layer that I stamped for the front of our card on my Berry Burst, and this just leaves a very, very narrow little margin. And then I've got some white baker's twine, and I'm going to wrap this around my card. I need to leave enough to tie a bow, so if I hold it up here at the top and let the string hang down to the bottom, that should be adequate. I'm going to wrap this around 3 times, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave enough here so it goes down to the bottom so that I can tie it in a nice bow. And you guys know when I'm using baker's twine, I always like to tie it in a knot and then tie my bow, and I don't need to worry about it staying tight while I'm trying to finesse a cute bow, right? Let's see how good I can do. Ah, that turned out perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to pop this layer up on dimensionals because, well, I love dimensionals and I love that extra lift that they give. They add that 3D interest to your projects, and because I can. My friend Dawn, she thought that was really funny that I said that because it's my card and I can, and I will. Make these cards spectacular. You know, you can take a very plain little card from, that's nice, to, oh wow, that's really pretty, with some layers and some dimension. I'm leaving the inside of my card blank except for my green grass and my flowers so that I have plenty of room to write that thank you note. So this is kind of like an all occasion card. And now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to just cut it with my scissors. Then I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. So I want that U separate, and I can make the 4 separate too if I want to. You don't have to. You could leave the thankful 4 altogether. But now I'm just going to trim this down to make it a little bit thinner. And this is just kind of a neat way to arrange your words if you want to. I'll start with my thank you, or thankful, thankful. And I'm going to add that right here. 4. And you. See, I needed a greeting that was kind of this size. And the greetings that come in here, while they're wonderful, they're all straight across. So I made mine do what I needed it to do, right? Let me fix this bow. It's kind of getting in my way there. Okay, super, super cute card. And you guys, I hope that you will take advantage of this Stamparatus when it is available June 1st. because I think you're going to love it. This will be fabulous if you have invitations to make where you have to make a bunch of the same, or if you're a demonstrator, of course, you want to have this for making swap cards, just like I did here. This will be great for your Christmas cards. And the other neat thing about it is if you happen to stamp and the image isn't complete, like you missed a spot with the ink pad, you can simply take it and ink it again and restamp because it's going to be in the exact same place. I love this tool. Thanks you guys so much for taking a little time out of your busy day to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're clicking on subscribe down here so you don't miss anything I have coming out. And if you would like to place an order, you can click right up here in the top right corner. That'll take you right to my blog. You'll find an online ordering button in the right-hand column. As always, I always appreciate your orders, your comments, your thumbs up on my videos. All of it matters. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Bye-bye.